Good morning, students. In the today's session, we'll learn about what is meant by forwarding and unicast routing protocols. Okay. Now, whenever we are working with this network layer, whenever we are working with the network layer main purpose is here for the transmission of data. There we have the n number of protocols. Okay. And in the last session, we have learned about this ARP, RARP, and DHCP and Bootstrap. Okay, so many protocols we have learned. Okay. Now in the today's session, we'll learn about the forwarding as well as unicast routing protocols. Okay. Now here the network routing algorithms like the delivery, forwarding, and unicast protocols. Okay, let me see here this forwarding and unicast protocol and gateway protocols. These are all the comes under the network routing algorithms. Okay, what is mean by this routing algorithm? It is a procedure that lays down the route or the path to transfer the data packets from the source to the destination. Okay, they help in directing the internet traffic efficiently. Okay, and after a data packet leaves its source, it can choose among the many different paths to reach its destination. Okay, and the routing algorithm mathematically computes the path. Okay, it is going to compute the best path, that is like least cost path that the packet can be routed through. Here, what are the different types of routing algorithms? Mainly, we have two different types of routing algorithms. One is the adaptive routing algorithm, another one is a non-adaptive routing algorithm. In the adaptive routing algorithm, we have the centralized, isolated, as well as distributed routing algorithms. And whenever if we have this non-adaptive routing algorithms, we have the flooding as well as random. These are the routing algorithms. Okay. And now what is meant by this? Here, we'll go the in-depth explanation for this centralized, isolated, as well as this distributed routing algorithm. Now we'll see what is mean by this centralized routing algorithm. See here, the adaptive routing algorithms are also known as the dynamic routing algorithms. Okay, it makes routing decision dynamically depending on its network condition. And here, what is mean by this centralized algorithm? It finds the least cost path between the source and destination nodes by using global knowledge about the network. Okay, that means here this centralized algorithm is also known as a global routing algorithm. Okay, and now what is meant by this isolated algorithm? This algorithm produces the routing information by using the local information instead of the gathering information from other nodes. Okay, what is meant by this distributed algorithm? This is a decentralized algorithm that computes the least cost path between the source and destination iteratively in a distributed manner. Okay, now what is meant by this non-adaptive routing algorithms? Here, this adaptive routing algorithms is also known as dynamic routing algorithms. Then in the reverse order, simply we can say the non-adaptive routing algorithms means we are going to call it as a static routing algorithms. Okay, and here we have two types of non-adaptive routing algorithms. So one is the flooding, another one is a random. In flooding, what happens? When a data packet arrives at a router, it is sent to all the outgoing links except the one that has arrived. Okay. And flooding may be uncontrolled, controlled, or selective flooding. Okay. And what is meant by this random walks? It is a probabilistic algorithm where a data packet is sent by the router to any one of its neighbor random. Okay. And now here we have two different types of deliveries. One is a direct and indirect. In the direct delivery, we do not have any other internet connection. Directly, we have a transmission between by using the network host to host. That means we can call one host as a source host. Another one is the destination host. Okay. This is called as a destination host. And in the indirect delivery here, what happens here? This source will be there and destination in the middle we have the route. Okay. And here, like the same which I have explained in direct delivery, then the final destination of the packet is a host connected to the same physical network as the delivery. And in direct delivery, what happens if the destination host is not on the same network as a deliverer, the packet is delivered indirect. Okay. And in an indirect delivery, the packet goes from router to router until it reaches the one connected to the same physical network as its final destination. And what is meant by this forwarding? Forwarding means to place the packets in its routes to its destination. Here, the forwarding requires the host or a router to have a routing table. In this WASP, we have the first one is next hop method versus route method. And the next another method is network specific method versus host specific method. What is this next hop method versus route method? One technique to reduce the contents of a routing table is called as a next hop method. And in this technique, what happens? The routing table holds only the address of the next hop instead of information about the complete route. Okay. And in the network specific method versus host specific method, here in network specific method versus host specific method, this is a second technique to reduce the routing table and to simplify the searching process. This is called as a network specific method. Here, instead of having an entry for every destination, the host is connected to the same physical network. Okay. And here we have the same. Here, the route method versus next hop method means the same we have. And in the host specific versus network specific means here we have the different routes. Okay, same network. Okay. And what is the default method we have? The another technique to simplify the routing is called as a default method. In the below figure, the host A here, in this below figure, the host A is connected to the network. This is a network. The host A is connected to the network. Okay. And next, what happens here? To a network with two routers. Okay. It's connected to a network with two routers. And the router R1 route packets to host connected to network N2. And here the R2 is rest of the internet. Okay. And what is meant by this unicast method? This is a network communication method where data is sent from one source device to a specific destination device. Okay. And in unicast, we have a dedicated path is estimated between the sender and receiver. Okay. And also in the unicast, we have the source and destination communication will be there. Okay. All the best. See you in the next session.